Yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed, and like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. With that being said, oh my God, bro, I've been waiting to say this all day. I was at work all day reading your guys' comments. Couldn't respond. Short breaks. Damn, did you guys go in on me on that quinceañera trip? Now, when you guys started pointing it out, like, hey, bro, the word quince is in the word quinceañera, I thought about it and I was like, damn, I really had a blonde moment. I really had a stuck. Oh my God, how did I miss that? But I'm glad you guys liked it, though. I'm glad you guys roasted me, too. That means a lot when you guys were in that comment section making fun of me. Let's go. Let's go, people. I love that. I love the engagement. So, let's get into this video. With that being said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, always leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Check the links in the description for the Apple and Spotify music. Go ahead and stream my music. It's all I ever ask from you guys, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys tuning in and appreciate you guys showing your guys support. Thank you. Now, I was busted when Operation Red Soul came out. But here's the thing. I know somebody in particular. I won't mention his name, won't mention what they do, but was out around that time during Operation Red Soul. Red Reaper told me how they came up with the name Red Reaper. I know a lot more details than that is told to the public, than it's told to the media. And sometimes I trip out, like the things behind the scenes that people don't really know about, but nobody's ever talked about. I can't personally talk about them because they're part of the investigation, should I say. But I know somebody who was actually a part of all that, but they took a different route, did some other stuff. But he shares stuff with me here and there. Man, I wish I could interview him. He'd be awesome. But when Red Soul took place, I heard about it because it was an independent writer. His son got caught up in that mix. Well, it was actually it was his real son or his stepson, but all I know is he approached me and he was asking me, like, how deep are the norteños on the streets? And this individual was actually a sureño. Ex-sureño, as a matter of fact, should I say? Correct myself. But he approached me and he's like, hey, bro, is it strict out there? You know, he probably got in trouble with the law. You know, the homie's going to make him do stuff. You know, I don't want my son going down this path, man. I think he just got caught up in some bull. And I was like, bro, you're talking about Tulare County here, the most sophisticated of all sophisticated, and brocha of all brocha. Yeah, your son's going down. You know, it's regardless. Sorry that it happened. But 82 members. We're talking about 82 members, all from Tulare, Kings County. 82. Now, mind you, that's a lot of people, bro. I haven't even seen Italian mafia indictments on RICO acts bust that many members at one time. So obviously, 82 people were slipping. I don't know how you get caught slipping 82 people, but hey, if that ain't a world record, I don't know what else is. But out of the 82, I believe they said 52 were arrested and facing multiple heavy, severe charges. From racketeering to conspiracy to attempts to 211s, everything. But there's a couple of names, and I want to talk about the situation and Pistol Pete that I know of in this RICO that I want to share their stories. All right, first, I said it a long time ago that I knew Pistol Pete. But I knew Pistol Pete because in 2005, he got caught with I think it was a pistol. If I'm not mistaken, it was a pistol. But he didn't get that much time. He only did like a county lid for it. Mind you, I was on the bottom tier. Bart was on the top, but to the cell over. But Pistol Pete was right above me. Now Pistol Pete had status, just like maybe the rest of us that had status. It was like 8 or 9, like I said at the time. Pistol Pete's condition was a little bit different. We embraced him, put him through, you know, the NA process and then our process. Got him clear by the carnales on the streets that was running the Tulare County, Bob Wiley. But like I said, his circumstance was different. He wasn't allowed to hold no positions. He could be informed on any implementations and filters being circulated from the street regiments to the prison system, if need be, if necessary, to keep him abreast. But talking to him about household business and what we were conducting, who was going to get removed, who's getting disciplined, he was out of the equation. He wasn't in the loop. Why? I wasn't even told because, like I said, I had got status on the streets. When I went to county, I was going through my training program. So I didn't really have room to question anything. But he was disciplined the whole time that he was there. And that boy was fit. He would go out there in the day room, do the squad routine, do the burpees with the homies. And at some point during the day, he had to announce it to either me, Spaghetti, Menace from Dinah, Bobby, Smiley from Goshen, the homie De Leon, Any one of us. He could just call our cell and be like, hey, I'm walking on track. That was his way of saying, no, he's exercising his discipline in the cell, and he'd have to do another 500 burpees. So I used to hear him all the time every day above my cell, just kicking my ceiling. I'm like, bro, either he's clapping cheeks on the floor and just said, forget the mattress, or those are some heavy kicks. The whole time, he wasn't privy to no information unless it was necessary, unless the carnal said it was okay, or unless the authority in charge in the household was like, he deemed it appropriate that he know what was on this filter. All I know is he was in bad standing. He was in question about a lot of stuff. I don't know particularly the exact thing that he did, but all I know is he had to pay a hefty fine. And what I mean by a hefty fine is a $10,000 fine to a couple carnales on the streets that were out here at the time to get back in good standings. I don't know what it's for. Two people on the streets from different locations don't even know they don't even know each other, but they know me personally. And they both said the same story, but still, I still think it's allegations. I really can't speak on it. They said they didn't see it. I sure in the hell didn't see it. But I had told them both. I was like, bro, he was disciplined the whole time I was there. He was on indeterminate discipline, so I don't know what exactly he got himself into. So when Operation Red Soul came out, I heard he was giving it the keys to all Tulare County. Not just his barrio, but all Tulare County. Imagine that. And some of the bigger cities are the ones that actually indulge and cooperate with the street regiments. Visalia, Tulare, Porterville, Lindsay, Strafas. A couple homies here and there from like Tirabella, Woodville, Woodlake. But as a regiment commander, you're responsible for a lot of people and have to be in touch with a lot of people. This individual later on, he was actually gathering carloads of people, of homeboys that were functioning as squad members and pulling up to different barrios. I'm like, look, either you don't if they don't cooperate, I'll give you guys a heads up, ambush them right here in this McDonald's parking lot, or ambush them right here in this neighborhood, or ambush them right here in this apartment complex in front of everybody. But that's usually how it worked. Oftentimes when I see a lot of homeboys that were given a little bit more responsibility than others than in street regiments, it's just they go to the extreme. They feel like they own it. They feel like they run the world. They feel like the world's in the palm of their hands. I seen it time and time again. That's why I'm like, bro, I was glad I was just told what to do and when to go home and when to take a nap and when I can and can't smoke. You know what? Life was easier back then. So this individual somehow, some way, gained leadership. But like I've been telling you guys through a lot of my videos, it's not what you know sometimes, it's who you know. And paying a hefty fine of 10 G's, getting you in good standings with, particular individuals, some familianos that can give you that authority to say, all right, then, you gave us 10 bands, go ahead and take over the streets. We need about 50 or 100. Make us some more. So, he went around gathering up a little kids, but here's his downfall. And I'm going to be real brief because I want to talk about other people's involved in this Operation Red Soul indictment. This individual is credited in the streets by a lot of people. He deemed a lot of people for his own personal reasons. Fabricated it with violating bonds, violating street regiments, violating rules. It's real easy when you're the regiment commander out there and there's no carnales on the streets and you're only reporting to them in county jail or in the pen, how much leeway you have to get away with stuff. Because nobody's overseeing you. Nobody's overlooking your every move and your every decision making. All they're gonna take for it is, hearsay. Whatever he told me is what I can go off of unless somebody else comes in and reports him. Then you be placed under investigation. But if these familianos only have you that's answering to them, your word is pretty much gold. If you write it on a piece of paper saying, hey man, this dude was deemed no good on these specific reasons, that carnal is gonna stamp it right then and there. He don't really need to investigate it unless it's questionable or unless he doesn't see something right with it. But oftentimes it just goes right to the books. I could have added 5 different people's names, say they violated this one, then violated that, and they violated that. A carnal is just going to circulate, and it's going to end up on so many BNLs, and these individuals, wherever they land, are going to get booked and butchered over off one man say so. That's how powerful that street regiment command really is. That's how powerful these individuals become once they obtain that kind of responsibility. And in this particular case, there is a lot of victims and a lot of homicides that took place of people that I can vouch and a lot of people can vouch too that didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve it whatsoever. Give you one example. This for one, let's start the conversation off on the basis that this individual has a wife that's real known in the streets of Porterville, and you get what I'm saying. Multiple people were deemed for messing with her because that was his baby mama. There was actually a group called Frontline Click. You know, you had Lolo or Lalo, Young Kid. You had, Tony B, the one that's real known, that's been rapping from that streets, the one that caught life for that premeditated. And his co-defendant came 10 years later. Boy got away with it. 10 years later, his co-defendant told on it and they snatched him up and got him for premeditating. And now he's doing, I think, like 60 to life or 16 to life. 10 years later. You had another rapper, Fonzo, and he's part of the indictment. Individual lost his life out there in the streets. Pistol Pete didn't like the kid. You know what his charges was against this kid? That he's out there on the streets messing with different homeboys' babies' mamas. See, I never understood that policy, how you could just really take another man's life and just throw another man's life away, when we all know how certain particular women and what they do. Sometimes, I was that kid that messed around with a bunch of homies, old ladies, and got in trouble multiple times. Sometimes our minds and the other piece of equipment gets the best of us. But he charged that kid and fabricated a lot of evidence. And I know by fabrication because I talked to multiple people. None of them know each other, and I can guarantee that. All said the same thing, like, man, that Pistol Pete was just out for this kid. Lied about this, lied about that, then accused him of messing with his baby mama, got him deemed. And he ended up losing his life and became a part of this Operation Red Soul as one of the indictments of the homicide. Had a bunch of kids out there following his orders, taking care of his business. Got this dude unalived when he couldn't do it himself. So he had a bunch of kids who are part of this indictment throw their whole life away because he didn't like this individual. Well, Tony B winds up going to jail. And then Lalo or Lolo, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of those names. He pretty much bounced because he was on the verge of getting deemed too. They were after him. Wanted him to stop rapping and everything. And when he seen things were getting tense and they were, obviously they turned the barrel towards him. He got out of it and went where he went. And he got away from all of it. So, he did get lucky. On another incident, the homie Frank Mendoza, Troubles. I met Troubles when I was in juvie going to YA. He was in there, he was in Max in juvie. Me and him used to talk all the time. He used to always tell me about the streets of Porterville. And then when I went out there to Porterville and function, everybody from his hood loves that kid. Everybody talked highly about him. And I know why. I know the actual reasons. Can't talk about it. But still, the boy is ruthless. And he taught me how to make, he was the first person that actually taught me how to make a Fifi. I never heard of Fifis until him. And then once I started using them, I was always asking for gloves and lotion like every day. And he used to laugh that I got addicted to a rubber glove. And then he started getting in the van, started teaching me things like, hey, bro, just roll it up in a towel, bro. Oh, no. He'd be like, hey, bro, roll it up in a towel, bro. It makes it feel hotter. And then I started doing that to a towel. And then one day it was like, hey, bro, if you really want to get into it, bro, roll up your mattress and then tuck it in your mattress. That way you hold your mattress like it's a girl's waist. Bro, I used to be in my cell just going ham for hours on my mattress, bro. My mattress was all dent inwards and looked like the butt cheeks were like spread apart and flat. I used to beat that mattress up, bro, I swear. But anyways, that's how cool I was with that dude. Well, him and another individual, I don't know his name, they got pulled when they went to the pen. Came out on the streets, took over the streets, doing what they have to do. But see, Frank Mendoza had a girl at this time, and she didn't stay faithful. She wound up hooking up with Pistol Pete, and Pistol Pete had a baby by her. But Frank already had a baby by her. Now, mind you got two hermanos, same baby mama, both hooking up with her. I mean, she got that right. Those are her baby daddies. That's what I thought. She could do whatever she wants with her body at the end of the day. A woman can love two men. There's nothing wrong with that. These two guys gave her probably some beautiful babies that she can love and adore and every day. So yeah, she might have some, she has that bond with both these guys. Well, since Pistol Pete's the authority in charge and doesn't like the fact that Frank is messing with his baby mama, they get into a confrontation. Frank honestly told him, the homie Troubles honestly told him, like, hey, bro, Like, what gives you the right to even tell me what to do with my baby mama, bro? I had a baby with her before you. Got into this big old dispute. He winds up getting Frank and another homie deemed. And when Frank got to county, they investigated him, put him on freeze, and they whacked him, slit his face open. And he pretty much called it a quits. Like, forget the homies, bro. Like, imagine that. You're getting whacked for a girl. For all these individuals who claim to be active and swear like don't never go SNY, this dude gave his life to the cause. Went to prison, put in work, on the streets, was putting in mad work. And because another individual had leadership, didn't like him, used that power in his favor against him, the homie didn't even have a standing chance in that investigation. And now he's walking around with a big scar from his lip to his ear. About that fat. That man don't have a right to just call it a quits and hang up the gloves and say, forget everybody, forget the homies. That's always been my message to a lot of these actives. Like, bro, I don't care that you're active. I don't mind that you're active. You do what you want. I'm just showing you the realities of what could happen. I don't want you to end up in these realities and think, damn, bro, I didn't know no better. Or I didn't even know this was coming. No, this is my channel. This is me opening up your guys' eyes. That way you can at least see it coming. Because it's a harsh feeling and it's a messed up reality when you don't see it coming. When your loyalty gets overpowered by greed and power, that's when it's going to really settle in. And that's when it's going to hurt you the most. Trust me, I've been there. So now one of my boys, one of my closest boys as a kid, and one of his closest boys are deemed by the same man. Mind you, there's other victims in this operation that he was responsible for. You got the homie Johnny Garza, J5. When J5 came up, to be honest with you, real honest with you, J5, Silver brought him in. Honestly, there was rumors that that's actually Silver's son. But then somebody else said BG from Tulare was Silver's son. They were confusing me. Nobody had it right, but the homie that actually knew J5 used to say that was Silver's son. But I think it's because Silver just brought him in. Who knows? I don't know. Never asked Silver. But J5 used to put in work and do shootings and robberies for Silver. Then Silver got busted and J5, J5 was like maybe 15, 16. And two of my boys from my hood that I talked to when I was locked up were running the streets with J5. They said that little kid was a stone cold killer. That he smacked a lot. What he got charged for right now at Cutler Park, that individual named Marcos Villegas, I don't know what that particularly was about. Him and Sasquatch and all them. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's a Southerner, maybe it was a dropout, who knows. But they said J5 was one of the youngest people in the street regimen that was respected, loved, they took care of him. But he was out there on the streets putting in work. And that goes to my next message for the youth. We're talking about big familianos, picking little kids, 15, 16-year-olds, just like myself when I was that age, putting a gun in his hand. They didn't ask this dude to go beat up this guy. They didn't ask this dude to go, hey, man, get on your bike and run this sack and collect this money, small responsibilities. They gave a 15, 16-year-old a gun in his hand and told him, man, just take out everything that you possibly can on behalf of us. You're going to be somebody one day. I believe in you. That's the kind of manipulation that's going to be presented to you subtly in the form of flatter, in the form of inspiration and influence. And now J5's over. I remember when I was barely getting out, somebody had told me J5 was in high desert. But you're going to throw your life away, not even knowing what life you're getting into in the first place. Then you're going to throw your life away, not knowing what it's like to actually live life. And your life is going to be doing life. That's a prime example of how easy it is to throw your life away just because you want to look good to somebody else. I done showed you 2 examples of individuals who threw their life away for something that they didn't even know what they were getting themselves into. And a lot of people could say, yeah, they did. Nah, sometimes when you're a kid, you just don't know. They don't tell you everything until you know it all. And you never know it all. And like I said, there was a couple more victims, but this one right here, it touched home a little bit. One of them was a northern dropout named Rigo Santa Maria. I knew Rigo since boot camp. I was actually with him out of state for a little bit. He wasn't doing that much time. I think he was doing like 2 years, and then he got out. He has these big old ears that stick out like way out here, bro. Like I don't know why they stick out. Like they don't even. That's just crazy, bro. They're just here. Like we out here. I don't. Damn, that's crazy. He looks like a maxi pad, bro. Like when you open it up and the inside's flat. You know what I'm talking about? Well, they're like that far out. That's what he looks like. I know him because one of my boys on the streets, one of my best friends that kind of hooked me up, got me hooked on dope. He was older. He was like in his 30s, and I was like 15, and we used to smoke dope together all the time. That was because I used to get allowance money, so I'd always go buy a fat 8 ball or something, and then I'll smoke it. He would be the first person I go to and smoke a bowl and just get lit for like 2 days in a garage doing whatever. We used to be rubbing crystal meth on cats' gums and just watch them all night run around the hood all crazy. But we're talking about a kid who he hooked up with my best friend's baby mama. They were always beating each other up, and she left him and then moved to his hood. He came out. They hooked up. They were having a baby. I think her baby that was pregnant at the time when I seen her, it was actually his, because I remember her throwing it out there like, forget that fool, man. Little did he know, man, this is the homie from Wooty Woo Woo. But I didn't remember that. It didn't dawn on me at the time. So I think they had a baby prior, and I know he had another one with her. You know, whatever it is that he dropped out for, it's nobody else's business. Nobody else should be concerned why he decided to say, you know what, I don't want to live this life no more. Now we got Pistol Pete influencing all these other little kids to go after dropouts. And yet another homie of mine loses his life. And that's what sparked a lot of this, Operation Red Soul. So in this video, I pointed out quite a few individuals who are no longer here. And quite a few individuals who lost their life and lost their careers. All by the hands of corrupted power. By somebody who didn't know what they were doing and took matters into his own hands. That's one of the most biggest charges, but contradictory and hypocrisy charges I've ever heard. Every facility I've been to, it says it on every document, per the NF, per the household, per everything, never take matters into your own hands. But yet a street commander out the streets took matters into his own hands. And then look at that. Look, prime example. He flipped at the end. Got court footage of him crying on the stand, or crying when he got arrested, asking for his mom, and then he flipped. So he had everybody out there fooled when he drove around in that Jaguar, collecting all this money, saying he was working for these big homies, and the main dude, the head of the snake, flipped, just like every other story you hear. So that's, like I said, I'm going to continue to preach this message. That's always been my message, just to the youth. Grown men are going to make the decision how they want to. But this is what happens when you get caught up in this life. It's never a good look, and it's never a positive outcome. So if you have the opportunity to make a positive outcome for yourself, you don't need the next man to make one for you. Just try to do it yourself. And do it with the support and love from those that want to see you do good. Not for those that want to see you end up in there with them. So, with that being said, I hope you guys like my story. I've been wanting to talk about this video for quite some time. You know, it's a very unfortunate circumstance, but it happens like that. So, with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.